In case you haven't seen some of our other videos, I'm Jeff Dyer, Vice President of One Tree Learning Institute, and I live in Bayfield, Colorado. This is my community. In May of 2019, I asked Doctors Phil Callahan and Michael Marks to come to our community to explore ways to make the community more resilient. We met with a group of public servants and their partners, a group of community leaders, public health officials, a group in recovery, a fire department shift, and school administrators and teachers, all in hopes of putting into practice our belief that when resilient individuals gather together, they are stronger because of it. Our years of working with the mental well-being of those exposed to trauma have convinced us that the psychological health of responders is interconnected with the wellness of their families and communities. To maintain this healthy support system requires that it be a two-way street, both giving and receiving support. Let me give you an example. And one of the people I talked to was probably a 10, 12-year-old kid who was right in with the adults, and I mean he's up to his elbows in dirt. And I asked him, I said, so why do you want to do this? Well, he wouldn't do eye contact with me. He just kept shoveling the dirt in and all that. But he says, well, no, I mean, these people come together and they help each other, and this all feels good, and we're all friends, and this makes for a greater community. I mean, I could not have offered a better speech. Came right off the top of his head, and I'm thinking, here's our ambassador.
Right.
Recent statistics on the suicide rates among firefighter EMTs and our awareness of suicide rates in La Plata County in Colorado persuaded us to approach these stakeholders in Bayfield. Bayfield, like many communities across America, is a resilient community, especially immediately after a tragedy. Community members recognized that more needed to be done proactively and not just after the fact. Their courage to honestly look at the challenges makes me proud to be part of this community. Because we have experienced a number of teenage deaths and suicides, community leaders wondered what could be done preemptively. One of the harsh realities we have to face is that all of the efforts to reduce the suicide rates, not just among first responders, but throughout our communities, has not been enough. The numbers speak for themselves. Suicide rates are on the rise throughout Colorado and exceed the national average. In La Plata County in 2017, the suicide rate was 4 times the national average. It is also known that in Colorado, for every death by suicide, there are 25 attempts. In 2017, 34 people took their lives by suicide in La Plata County, which means there were approximately 850 attempts. And who gets to respond to and be impacted by those calls? Because of the Bayfield community's desire to address this problem, we met with each group and reviewed our 5 skills resilience program. And then we went through one of the skills with each group in its entirety. With the couples group, we were able to do more of the skills. Results showed an increase in resilience scores, which we attribute to increased awareness. Our meeting with some of the community leaders of Bayfield and La Plata County again clearly demonstrated a desire to address resources and ways to better make both the city and county as a community of one. While the meeting had the usual suspects like fire and EMS, law enforcement, county public health officials, it also had the owner of a local gym. Another community participant was the local garden club, which is associated with the library. Dr. Marks was given an opportunity to present an overview of our program to an active substance abuse recovery group. For us, suicide has been a dark side of our careers, and while each tragedy is significant, the death by suicide of a child or a young person causes a different pain. There have been professional arguments about how many people are forever changed when someone, especially young, takes their lives. From our perspective, we have seen entire communities altered by such a death. Rather than feeling helpless, we approached the superintendent of schools and one of the high school science teachers about a curriculum our colleague Dr. Phil Callahan has developed for teaching resilient skills through a STEM curriculum using Raspberry Pi. Finally, we met with a shift from the Upper Pine Fire Protection District, and as these things work out, they were all called out about halfway through the first skill. No worries, we've committed to come back and finish the training for them. We all believe this has been a good first step, and we've made a commitment to help Bayfield establish itself as a community of one. This fall we'll return to do more extensive workshops, especially with couples and natural caregivers in the community. We'll also be working with Bayfield schools to assist science teachers in integrating these positive coping skills into their courses. So stay tuned. We're going to follow this project for some time to come.